Second video today from a better location and environment, and I'm going to label this one Reflections on Manifestation and More in Leveling Up and Showing Up in Your Voice and Visibility. Thank you for being here, for clicking like, share, commenting and subscribing. I'd like to share this little rose cushion with you to remind you to dream in your own divine timing, that our journeys are different for each and every one of us. And these times where we may perceive even greater uncertainty in the world with the changes to living from frequency, the golden age, the age of Aquarius, of how we can come together more in harmony and in resonance and having grace and compassion. May not always be easy, may be challenging at times, but the more you are in that inner elevation, inside out, and you're choosing you and you're honoring you and your soul path, and you're showing up and you're committing to that, the more life seems to favor and reward you. And that's not to say on the manifestation journey that you don't experience quantum crumbles and collapses. And on that note, I am going to say that there may be so many people showing up online in an online capacity as a digital creator and putting themselves out there and growing their reach and their followers and their brand and their impact and whatever it may be. And you may not always be aware of things that may be running behind the scenes. And that is deeply personal to each person within their own sovereign boundaries, how much they wish to share or reveal. And I personally believe that our own unique stories are sacred. It's something that we honor. We honor our boundaries, our intuition. Do I feel called to express this? Do I feel called to speak on this right now? Do I want to share it? And honoring your own body in that sense. And it seems to be for me that inside my courses where people invest to stepping into that presence with me and to receive the activations or energy and the insights and more, and go on a deep dive in learning and alchemy, the descent to ascend, since it's not only going upwards, we also dive in deep into the alchemy, which may be releasing and purging wounded. It feels a collective purge right here, right now. You may feel essential symptoms, as I was saying in the previous video, headache or nausea or tiredness or wanting to slow down, no longer wanting to engage with hustle and burnout culture. There's so many people wanting to exit that and in a way exit the matrix and to follow their own inner guidance and their magic and their wisdom and monetizing on being themselves, blooming as the flower that they came here to be, feeling connected to the heart chakra and a higher heart, these colors, the pink and the green, also the colors of my Reiki level 2 manual, which really felt a work of devotion in channeling and letting messages come through. And this requires a steadiness and a slowness, and it's not quite matched up with the pacing of the masculine dominated world. And the feminine is tired of this, quite frankly, that she wants to exit that. She wants to honor her body. She wants to follow her enthusiasm and her aliveness. When you're finding that spark and you're alive in your life, in your vibrancy, you're even that conduit, you're that vessel, you are electric, you're charged in your body. Wonderful things are happening behind the scenes that you can't even see that. That's not to say that you will not go through this little constriction or contraction of what doesn't feel comfortable or pleasant. And the body will put the brakes on there where it's attempting to protect you when you're actually called to lean in more, stretch into the discomfort, and persist in the actions. And manifestation requires action, what you're taking action on, how you're showing up, what you're creating, what you're putting out there. So it's not necessarily the signal to slow down, while your regulation is so important in your body. What many people don't talk about is that on the manifestation journey where you're stretched into being more you and expressing you authentically as you are, will give you sensations of like, oh my God, I think I'm going to poop my pants, right? Because you're going to this new expression in your identity. You're doing things that perhaps you haven't feel that you haven't before. You're learning new things. You're learning new things about yourself. You're surrendering more. You're trusting the universe more. You're allowing more. You're receiving more. It's going against all of the systems and the programs and the conditioning that we have been taught through education, through other people. It's breaking out of. And you'll see even how you're breaking out of paradigms and breaking out of systems through your relational dynamics with others. And while you may want to have two different things where you're allowing yourself to grow, to rise above your current level identity, there may be a pushback and resistance from others in your reality that want you to play their level of the video game, we will say, based on their paradigm and belief system, which you may not be aligning with anymore if you're aligning with the blended, and saying, understanding this conflict of interest here and not wanting to cause harm. There's a huge thing in being non-reactive and intending to be harmless. And there's various ways in which we can harm one another, whether intended or unintended. And that's why I was drawing focus to the hope and known of prayer. It's so important that you align with your values. What is uniquely valuable to you that you commit to that? It's devotion. You're not here to be passive. You're here to be engaged and active in your life, yet from a place of sovereignty where you feel you individuate and you are even more yourself. You get to claim that, yet you're not just sitting on the sofa manifesting. You're taking action. You're getting out in the world. You're being the version of you that you love, admire, and respect the most, and you're following your own body's capacity to do that and how you stretch and stretch and stretch. So as I've mentioned in the previous video, some people can fall back into their current comfort level, which is the cap, and stop themselves from going further because it's asking more of them. It's stretching them into even more. And this is the pivotal turning point. This is where manifestation becomes even more powerful and impactful, is where you keep going and persisting. You do not give up. And there's a huge difference between giving up and surrendering, where you're allowing. Yet the allowing and surrender energy is still tapped in and connected to the energy of certainty and knowing. It's still connected to that prayer of gratitude. I know all is well in my world. It's not giving up from a sense of defeat or apathy, frustration or doubt, that you want to alchemize all of those and say, I know this is all serving my highest good. I know this is taking me into even more of my greatness. I know that the right people are finding me and magnetized to me in divine will and divine timing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And the reason why I mentioned those living in other houses or being in those energies being so important, and I wanted to expand on that in this video. I felt that wasn't quite covered in the last video. And I was called into, not that I feel the need to explain myself based on previous comments that have shown up, because you have to accept that on the journey, some people are not going to resonate with you, are not going to understand your intention. When I didn't have internet access where I was, and was relentlessly saying, this is happening anyway. And I understand from your listener viewer perspective, you want to have good sound quality. So I honored that. And the mental note is there of feedback of, let me consider my audience and ensure that the environment is quiet and that you're picking up the sound. So I can absolutely honor that and make a note of not jumping into my spontaneous impulsivity, which I can do as a sachi. Like, this is happening anyway. I'm adamant, I'm just making it happen. To have a pause of and considering my viewers and their listening experience. So absolutely, thank you for that. Let's just hold each other in grace and compassion and move forward. I trust that who is supposed to be here is still here or joins in from this point forward. And those who leave, thank you for having been here. Let's honor one another's perspective and journey. Wouldn't that make the world a better place if we could all allow one another to be who we are and be in the intention of harmlessness? And there's a very different energy between, as I'm getting the energy of Richard Rudd speaking on the benevolent rebel, the person who's a revolutionary and wanting to be a spiritual warrior or a light worker and show up in their soul path and their journey and their expression and their creativity and their channeling on what wants to come through them, and how that can be rebellious against systems of the patriarchy and the matrix and other energies that may not understand it, and it can make you feel or seem as if you are a rebel, and there may be a villain arc that emerges within you when you're wanting to wield your sword of truth, or when you're wanting to remain on your path unapologetically while aligning with the highest good and joy of all, which may be your intention. There's a big difference in energy between that, when you may be operating from lack or scarcity mindset and you're wanting the greatest good, to when you have a malicious intent to act against someone in a sense of causing harm. That is a very different energy. That's when it's intentional that you're causing harm, to when it's non-intentional or unintended, yet you see that and you want to cleanse that energy. You want to have compassion. You want to do the hope and honor prayer. You want to call on forgiveness. You want to make each new day your new opportunity to be an even more aligned version of you, the version of you that you love, admire, you respect, you appreciate, and you value even more, that you are, of course, redirecting in a way that you feel that you clean up anything that you may feel that you need to clean up, or that you're simply deciding I'm making better choices from this point forward. I honor my path from this point forward. I choose to live myself even more and hold myself in higher esteem and to higher standard moving forward from now. And that you claim that and you take the responsibility of that, of being fully accountable for yourself. This is not necessarily an easy transition or an easy ride of experience in life. Yet it's ultimately liberating when you take full accountability for your own creative power, your own mindset, your own frequency, your own engagement, your own action steps, your own refinement of that experience and how you show up and how you may intend to create offers and products and to connect with others to support them in their expansion and ascension journey, in receiving and unlocking wealth codes in abundance and feeling even more in their aliveness and vitality. I certainly feel that. Are you feeling it in my voice? And that's my energy that is coming out of me right here, right now. I do feel like I've had to shift into an absolutely beautiful reality. Look at these questions. This is almost like the energy of the third eye opening and more awakening. Also providence is like everything that you are thinking or feeling or acting on or not acting on is always seen in the invisible. And therefore the energies in the invisible in the spirit realms always know your heart and intention. And if you keep aligning with that, you know that you have support in the spirit realms. You know that you are always safeguarded, cherished, and adored. Everything is seen. You can also ask for forgiveness or apologize or whatever it is that you feel that you misstepped or could have perhaps acted better. Yet regrets are futile since they interfere with your peace. And your peace is your power. That means lemonade with this beautiful hummingbird. Getting to be in joy, getting to see the appreciation and abundance of nature. So much flower energy in here, and flowers being feminine. Get yourself flowers, be in the energy of flowers. The frequency of rose, maybe identifying with the rose lineage and that sensuality and the power of the feminine sensuality. It can feel as if these patriarchal systems and very masculine dominated ways of living have been inciting a war on women, on her body, that she is saying enough. I'm choosing to honor my body, my wisdom, and my path, my timing. I'm showing up in honoring my intuition, the cyclical nature of my body and rhythm, my intuition, what my capacity is, which may be very different to the male output day by day to the same capacity, which can be easier from the male design and from the hormones and everything, the dopamine effect, whereas women operate better and are more efficient in tapping into oxytocin, which is the regulation. And you may, some of you here in this collective feel that you regulate a lot with animals. If you're an old soul, a starseed who feels in isolation, or that you have been ejected out of things, or people reject you or push you back or have resistance to you in your reality, which may call you back into being alone. It's because in that solitude, you are refining your channel, you're clearing and purifying your channel, and you're getting closer to God, you're getting closer to your creative expression. Your greatness is coming out even more. Yet many of you here may feel the call into more connection that aligns in soul tribe, co-regulating with other people that you feel safe with, that the body feels safe with in your expansion and going to new levels, and to honor that push into what may stretch you in the nervous system, make you feel that you're going to new levels, maybe even make you feel like you could vomit or poop your pants, as I've said. Yet what if on the other side is even more magic? What if on the other side is even more of the life of your dreams? What if your soul has designed this perfectly so that you would meet yourself at your next level? Your future self is always guiding you into that version of her, to not just become, but to be her now. And your actions today, your mindset, your frequency today are creating your tomorrow. That's why you want to be in loving dialogue with yourself inside, and how you speak and use your voice, how you're commanding reality, how you're deeply grateful for what is here, for the opportunities that you have to connect and to create and to expand, abundance that you do see all around you and in your reality, and the colors and frequencies, and observing and highlighting and focusing on the good, allowing that to expand even more in your reality. Okay, I felt a lot of enthusiasm to share that message, and maybe repetitive in some way, or expands on even more in a more reflective sense in quietude in this environment. Thank you so much for listening, for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, for stepping into my containers for one-to-one mentorship, where I will absolutely see where and how I can call you up, because I'm not wanting you to be comfortable. I'm wanting you to be your greatest self. And that will require you to take bolder action and to persist and be relentless in ways that can stretch you in your body. Yet the support is there with my tools, with my journal, with my book for nervous system regulation, as you elevate and expand inside in the container of your body, which is the instrument and manifestation tool that you came here with. Thank you again for listening, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Bye from me, Marlo, who's over here asleep. See you in the next one.